Yeah, what's up, bitch? What's your opinion on traditional gender roles?
I think the gender roles are stupid.
Do you feel like, because it's your job to have transactional relationships with men, do you think that that affects your ability to have like more meaningful or like deeper relationships with them? Because you only see men that see you transactionally. We have Sadie Schafer here, C-list celebrity in
D.
San Diego.
Maybe D-list.
D, big D though. And where are you from?
I was born and raised in Western Pennsylvania.
Wow.
And I moved to San Diego like
in a trailer?
4 years ago, pretty much. Close enough. I'm from like real banjo twanging, Pennsyltucky, sorta, yeah.
Did you chew tobacco?
Okay, once. One time, and I puked my guts out, so.
Yeah, me too.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't think people in California know what it's like to throw a big fucking chew of Skull long cut straight in and then just puke your brains out for like 30 minutes.
Easily. I was puking off a balcony, but I did smoke cigarettes for a long time.
Yeah, me too.
And I still will occasionally.
That's disgusting.
Love me a nice cig.
Okay, what do you do?
For a living. Or what kind
you can answer this question.
Or what kind of cigarettes do I smoke?
Open-ended question. What do you do?
I'm a stripper, and I make content on OnlyFans in San Diego.
There you go, boys. You know where to find her.
Yeah, find me on Instagram at not Sadie. Not me.
How many times have you been blocked from Instagram?
Only twice. I've only had 2 accounts deleted.
I'm shocked.
Not Sadie is my 3rd account, and I've had it for almost a year. It'll be a year in June.
I'm kind of surprised. So the creatives on Instagram, like it kind of first got popularized by like beautiful women. That's really like what attracted everyone to Instagram in the first place. And now I feel like they are so fucking antagonistic to any kind of models on there right now.
It depends on if
almost
they can
unusable.
Monetize off them or not.
Yeah.
Like if you are a super big account like Playboy, or something that is like bringing in a lot of followers where they can like advertise to those people, then you can post whatever you want.
Of course, yeah.
It's all about how much money Instagram can make off you.
But if you're a sub 5,000 follower, you're fucked. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. What's your relationship status?
Single.
Single?
Yes.
It's not what was it on Facebook back in the day? It's complicated.
It's complicated.
Sorry, MySpace.
No,
Yeah.
I think it was Facebook.
Okay.
I think it was Facebook. Although I remember MySpace days.
Yeah?
Yeah, I can still find and probably log into my MySpace.
Oh shit. We should look that up later.
Oh my God.
How's dating going for you in San Diego?
I don't date.
Yeah, this is so weird to me. Can you explain what you mean by this? Because I know that you hang out with boys. So describe your dating life.
So like I would say that I do not date people because I am a stripper. So if you aren't going to pay me for my time, then why would I spend time with you? Also, if we are not like creating content that I can use on my OnlyFans, then why would I fuck you? For me, it is transactional. Pretty much everything is transactional.
So when you look at like any relationship you have with a man is transactional.
Pretty much, yeah. Yes.
Has it been like this your whole life?
No, but the older I get, the more jaded I get. Yeah, the longer I'm a stripper. I've been a stripper for 7 years. So like the further I get into the industry and the more that I realize that everyone is the same, pretty much everyone is the fucking same.
What do you mean everyone is the same?
Exactly that, everyone is the same.
Do you feel like, because it's your job to have transactional relationships with men, do you think that that affects your ability to have like maybe more meaningful or like deeper relationships with them? Because you only see men that see you transactionally as like a sexual object, you're getting money from them. This is like all you see all the time at work. Do you think that makes you feel like all men are like that all the time?
I feel as though I've always had a difficult time like developing deep personal relationships with all people. Like regardless if it was like a romantic relationship or if it was like a friendship, I would even go as far as saying like my family, like family members, like my parents and grandparents, cousins.
Damn, we got deep fast.
Yeah, I do not have like a deep personal relationship with them. Like, they don't really know a lot of things about me. Most people don't.
Well, do you think that's just because I mean, it would be weird to talk to your family about like what you do for work and stuff, right? And that's a lot of your life.
Right. And so I don't. But even before that, like just like general personal things, I would always be like, just kind of keep to myself. And so I want to answer your question as yes and no. Like yes, in the sense that as I get older, I continue in this.
You were like
industry.
this before you became a stripper.
I was like this before I became a stripper,
Yeah.
but since I've become a stripper, I have become more jaded and more transactional, and do want to be compensated for my time. And if I am not, or if somebody cannot offer me that, then I'd rather just be alone.
Yeah.
Like, even if somebody's like, oh, do you want to go out to dinner or something? Like, unless I like you like a little bit as a person, which is pretty rare, the answer is no. Like, they're like, I'll buy you dinner. I'm like, that's cool. I don't care.
I can buy my own dinner.
Right, exactly. Like, so if I say yes to you just for that, and you're not actually paying me to be out in public with you, then like, know that I like you a little bit.
Hey,
you know?
compliment accepted.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Next question. What's your opinion on traditional gender roles?
I think the gender roles are stupid. I do. I don't necessarily believe in like traditional gender roles, that like there are things that men.
What are you putting quotes on men, first of all?
Men or women are supposed to do, because I don't believe in those terms as like defining individuals. Like if you want to define yourself under those terms, then that's fine. But the idea that all men or all women are supposed to fit into like these very sort of black and white categories, these very humans are dichotomous beings. We exist on spectrums, right? We should have the ability to exist on all sides of the spectrum. That's kind of like saying that you are only allowed to experience one emotion. Like, no, the human condition is to experience all emotions and all things equally. You cannot have one without the other. Yes.
What would you say to somebody that says, look, I agree that humans are complex, but we probably have like some biological proclivities. Men probably have a biological proclivity for violence or for leadership. Women probably have a proclivity to be more nurturing or skills in like child rearing or something like that. Do you think that men in general probably do a better job of like, I don't know, fighting in wars and shit? Or do you think that like these are totally socially constructed categories? I
would say that they are not only socially constructed, but about nurture, right? Like there's often the question all through like biological study, there's the question of nature versus nurture, right?
Yeah.
You take twins, you separate them at birth. You raise one way and one the other. Will they end up on the same path? And almost always the answer is no. Because humans have very little nature and a considerable amount more nurture. We are animals that can be trained Pavlov style, just like anybody else. There's a old biological study, little Albert. They would never do this now, but this was like way back in the 20s or 30s. You know who I'm talking about? The little boy?
No.
He was like a baby. And every time, his name was Albert, obviously, hence the name of the study. Every time they would show him a fuzzy animal, a bunny, a kitten, a rat, they would play a loud, or like bang a loud noise behind him, and they would scare him. They would scare this baby.
Dude.
And then
they used to shock dogs back in the day. Like the restrictions on like research was like non-existent.
No,
they
there
were
was
off the
there
chain.
was no board of ethics.
There
was no board of ethics, but now there is, thankfully.
Yeah.
So little Albert, every time they'd show him a fuzzy animal, I think they used rabbits. They would like bang a cymbal or something behind him, and they would scare this baby.
Yeah.
And it got to the point where if they would just show him, oh my God, it was so bad. That's not even the worst thing that they used to do to people.
Yeah.
But so bad. it got to the point where if he would see like a kitten, he would start crying, like losing his mind because he was scared.
Yeah.
He had that Pavlovian response. That is not a nature thing. In fact, humans are generally naturally curious, and we learn through pain, right? Like a lot of our natural phobias come from what they think to be like the genes that are passed down, right? Like epigenetic sort of things that are passed down through generations, like fear of heights.
Yeah.
Makes sense. But it probably took a while to learn that if you fall from a height, you die, right? Or like a fear of spiders, a fear of snakes. Like those are learned responses, as is disgust. Disgust is a cultural phenomenon, and it is learned from one human to the next. And you can see it across cultures. Like in the Philippines, they eat something that we in America find extremely disgusting.
Mealworms?
No, they eat, it's called a balut. It's like a half fertilized egg.
Oh, fuck. Yeah. Yep.
And
It's like there's like a hairy chicken in there.
Kind of like a hairy, like half formed chicken, but it's almost kind of like a hard-boiled egg. I don't know, they eat it all the time over there.
Yeah.
I could not.
It has a beak.
It has everything. It has like almost everything.
It's fucking disgusting.
I couldn't do it exactly, but that's a cultural response.
Okay, yeah, there's some like cultural stuff.
That's something
sure.
that like we learn.
I don't think anybody would argue that there is no cultural influence. But I think very rarely do you find people that argue that we're a blank slate. Like I think most people say, look, of course we have some evolutionary
Proclivity.
Yeah, proclivities for some things.
I would argue
and then
against that.
Against it. Zero evolutionary proclivity. So you don't think that since men have 20 times the testosterone that women have, that maybe we have some personality traits that are going to be vastly different than women?
Personality traits, perhaps, but like natural proclivity towards violence is like something that you said. I would say no. I have met some extremely violent women.
No, for sure, I have too, but I think like on average, I think that men, I mean, there's a reason why like 95% of the people in prison are men, and why the majority of men go into...
There's a different reason for that other than them just being men, and you know that.
I mean, maybe, but it's pretty weird that like across cultures, you don't see the same levels of violence in women that you do in men. Like,
it depends on what kind of culture that you look at. Like if you look at a culture that is...
Find a culture where there's more, where men on average are less violent than women. They just don't exist.
I mean, I would argue against that and even
We are gonna fight on this.
There are cultures, maybe not our cultures.
I'm feeling more violent right now.
I love that. Like, especially a lot of cultures that we know nothing about. But like there are plenty of cultures that are dominated by women, where women are the matriarch.
Plenty?
A handful.
Okay, a handful in history, yeah.
A handful in history, and probably there would have been more if not for colonization, which was a patriarchal overtaking of a lot of things. Hawaii is a really great example of that. Hawaii had a matriarch, right? And we literally were like, we're gonna buy Dole.
Yeah.
Put it up. Start selling all your pineapples. You're not going to do anything about it.
I literally just read about this. Not by Dole. Dole was a guy, wasn't it? Didn't we put Dole into power?
Yes.
Yeah.
And ended up like pushing her out of her matriarchal position, or putting her into a position where she had no power anymore, and then she just ended up dying, and nobody was able to carry on that reign as matriarch. I actually don't know enough about it to be able to talk about it, but I know at one point in time, Hawaii was a matriarchy. It was ruled by a woman.
Yeah.
And America is the reason that it is no longer, and it has to do with Dole, like the company, D-O-L-E.
I remember
Bananas and pineapples.
I saw a video on this maybe a couple weeks ago. Yeah, I think this was before Hawaii was even part of the United States.
Because she wouldn't sell it to us.
Yeah, I think that's,
And that's one of the reasons, she would not sell Hawaii to us, but as a world power, we needed Hawaii and Guam, which is now a US territory, to put us close enough to Japan, which was an Axis power during World War II after they bombed Pearl Harbor.
Yeah. Wow, we got real deep.
History is cool, I guess. By cool, I mean fucking terrible. And I feel like if more people learned about history, they would be less patriotic.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of hard to disagree with you about this too. I think a lot of people, they are hesitant to be patriotic, like about America.
Yes, same.
Yeah, I think that if you look historically speaking, I think America does a better job than almost anybody with almost everything, with human rights, with racism, with our government. I think it's actually pretty hard to find another country that does a better job. And I think the fact that we do such a good job, it allows people to talk shit on our government constantly. There's no repercussions. Try to go to China and do that, you'll disappear. Go to South America and do that, you'll disappear.
Go to Europe and do that, you'll start a riot.
I just saw this thing, something like 300 people have been arrested for making comments, anti-European or anti-English comments on the internet in England. So like, I know it's very in style to talk shit on America right now, but I think honestly, we do a better job than almost anybody.
But to say that, okay, that is kind of like being prom queen at the welding factory, right? You're like, we're so much better than all these other countries that continue to commit human atrocities.
Okay, but I mean, if we're doing the best job in the world,
and it's still not good.
Okay, but
what does that say about the state of the world?
Okay, but if we're doing the best, I think that gives us a pretty good... Look, if no one else is doing a better job, I think that you can say, look, at least we're number one.
I think the Scandinavian countries do a good job.
Scandinavian countries do a good job. However, they have some advantages that we don't.
Like minimal population.
Well, this is not a dog whistle for racism, but they are...
I get what you're saying.
Yeah. It's very easy to not be racist when your entire population is the exact same ethnicity. Right? We're a melting pot here. We have people from all over the country. There's pockets in major cities that don't even speak English, and we still do a pretty good job of integrating those people into our society. You don't have that in fucking Switzerland. Or, sorry, they're not.
Sweden.
In Sweden, yeah, thanks. You don't have that stuff in Sweden, right? You have a homogenous society. It's much easier to be cool with your neighbor when they're fucking the same
probably
as you,
your cousin.
You know? Yeah, exactly.
Like literally probably your cousin.
Yeah. Yeah, what's up, bitch? I don't know, I'm just kidding.
But when we exist in a day and age where there's infinite knowledge, right? Like you're literally holding an oracle in your hand.
You have more computing power in your cell phone than NASA had when we landed on the moon.
Right, landed on the moon. We talk
Get
about
the
that.
fuck, oh my God, we are gonna fucking fight. Oh my God. Wait, do you really not do it? Oh my God.